Cleveland Browns fans have been there through the hardest of times and some of the best of times since the team returned to the NFL in 1999. Who could forget when a soldier and a Wolverine lit the town on fire in 2007 with a 10-win season for the ages? From a Hail Mary touchdown pass by Tim Couch to secure the first victory of the new era, to a playoff victory led by Baker Mayfield over the hated Pittsburgh Steelers, this book captures it all. From wins over their rivals to wins in prime time with the world watching, we examine every big moment and every hard hit. First and 10, the latest read from veteran author Vince McKee takes you through every high and low since the Cleveland Browns' return to the NFL and is now available everywhere books are sold, including Amazon. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Advanced Diagnostics Auto Care and Maintenance. If you want dealership quality at a fraction of the cost, visit Advanced Diagnostics Auto Care and Maintenance at 23779 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted, and you won't be disappointed. You need a repair shop that you can trust. They know the repair process is all about customer service. How they treat their customers is just as important, if not more important, than the quality of the services they provide. They are always willing to discuss your repair needs before, during, and long after your visit. They treat you like family and won't stop until you're completely satisfied and road ready. B.A. Sweetie Candy Company. The world's most famous candy company is right here in our backyard. They are located at 6770 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, and it is a candy lover's paradise. They have every candy from your childhood, so make sure to visit them today. Climate Tech Inc. For 48 years, family-owned and operated Climate Tech has been the premier company for all HVAC services. For both residential and commercial, they have it covered. They offer free estimates on equipment replacement and 24-hour emergency service. Visit them at climatetech.com. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop has been your trusted barber for nearly a century of great haircuts. With affordable prices and excellent customer service, there's no better place to get your cut. It is located at 26915 Center Ridge Road in Westlake. Dick Esser Plumbing. Get exceptional plumbing repairs and installations for your commercial property from the experienced professionals at Dick Esser Plumbing and Heating Incorporated. They provide honest services and quality workmanship. You can find out more about them today at dickesserplumbing.com. Falls PC Clinic. If you're looking for excellent service and a people-friendly approach, then you've come to the right place. Falls PC Clinic has an ultimate goal to serve you and make your experience a pleasant one. They offer all repairs for makes and models, including Mac computers. They work on laptops and desktops and specialize in hardware repairs. Look them up at fallspcclinic.com. Live from beautiful Brunswick, Ohio, and Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium. It is week 9 of the Northeast Ohio high school football season and week 9 for the Keon Sports high school football game of the week as the Solon Comets come on in to take on the Brunswick Blue Devils. I am your host, Brandon Soder, alongside Cole McDaniel and Dom Clare. I did it again, Dom. 2 weeks in a row. Dom Clare is here with us today, folks. Really gearing up to be an exciting one. Solon we have not seen a lot of this year, but we've seen plenty of Brunswick despite their record sitting at 1-7 right now. Been a very tough team, so overall should be a nice even matchup. Really fun to watch, but that's enough of my rambling. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to the guys. Cole and Dom, take it away.
A breezy, cool, and crisp evening here. And again, that signals true fall football weather, and it also signals, as Brandon mentioned, the latter stages of the regular season here in Northeast Ohio football. Hard to believe that the season has flown by so quickly, but here in week 9 we have this matchup at Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium as they host the Solon Comets. And we're down to the final 2 weeks of the regular season and the Keon Sports High School football game of the week, Dom.
You know, we've been doing this 3 years here together, Cole, and, you know, I've done it 2 years here with Brandon, part of the crew, and every year we always say, boy, does it go fast after it seems like the third week.
Yeah.
And, you know, every day I wake up, I can't wait for Friday. That feeling's going to end knowing that we're not going to be doing our broadcast here soon. I'm glad we get to do it here in Brunswick. Glad we get to see Solon for the first time in Brunswick, where it seems like it's the 100th time that we've been able to cover them. So we'll have a good one here tonight. I'm excited for this one and to finish out the end of the season strong with you guys.
And these are two teams that have had issues with trying to win some games this year. But that being said, again, they've had some tough slates of the teams they've actually had to go up against. Of course, we're going to touch on these teams a little bit more here in a few minutes. We're going to talk about the players as well as we're going to get the opening kickoff underway. But Brunswick, 1-7 overall, 1-4 in the GCC, and Solon, 1-6 overall and 0-4. And we will be back in just a moment. So we're about to get kickoff underway here. It's Brunswick in the all-black uniforms, the white helmets. They're going to kick it away from left to right on your screen for the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. That one fielded just past the 40-yard line, and Solon, their offense, will come out on the field here in just a moment. Again, a few minutes ago, you just heard that brief pregame show here, the Hinckley Roofing pregame show. Also a reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. Now we'll talk about Solon, the visitors here first. Mention the record. They won 14-13 versus Mayfield a few weeks ago, so it was a close ball game. Since then, 2 straight losses versus Mentor and Cleveland Heights. They're almost coming off of a bye week because of the game that was canceled going to Euclid. So they've had 2 weeks to prep for Brunswick, and that opening play, maybe not the best one for them. It's going nowhere.
It's tough. Receiver almost able to break away from that one. But again, good discipline, good tackling from Brunswick, something that we've seen from them in both games earlier this year. Obviously only one play to start so far. But again, even though their defense might not be putting up crazy numbers, they are stout and they are disciplined.
So obviously, Dom, unfortunate with some of the chaos that's gone on for some of the teams trying to play against Euclid. But that being said, Solon, even though they didn't have a game this last week, trying to bounce out here, play tough against Brunswick, and get a run there from the quarterback, Cormuth, out to about the 45-yard line. But you don't really have bye weeks in high school football. But because of that canceled game, it's almost like that bye week for Solon. Does that really help you out here prepping for 2 weeks for Brunswick?
You know, not if you're Solon. This is Solon, that was a game that you can win against Euclid. You weren't able to play. Brunswick was able to play. I think Brunswick lost. No, they beat Euclid.
They beat Euclid. Yep.
And, you know, again, it's one of those games where you can get a win on your schedule there. Euclid's a tough team, but they also struggle to get wins as well. So the bye doesn't do too much for you.
On third down, here's the screen, and that one's not going to get there. So fourth down upcoming now for Solon. Probably about 2 yards to go here. And decision early, do they want to go for this on 4th and short, or are they going to punt this one away? And right now, the offense appears to be staying out on the field.
You have nothing to lose right now. If you're the coaching staff, go ahead and just go for it when you can, and it's not too risky here. Not so much. You trust your defense. You know, you don't have much on the line when it comes to the big aspirations of the season, so go ahead and go for it. Show that you're young juniors, and you have a bunch of them that we have starred. Show them that you trust them, and for the next year with them, that you trust to get that fourth down.
Back to pass, short throw, just past the sticks, and that's going to be enough to move the chains. So Solon decided to go for it there, and it panned out there on the completion for Cormuth.
I like that little quick drop step there by Cormuth, able to find a wide receiver there on a curl route. He may have turned the wrong way, but didn't seem to do too much and hurting the Comets there as they were able to get a completion and the first down.
So 3 receivers to the near side, but running this one up the middle. Ali, the senior running back, only gets about a yard there on the carry. So 2nd and 9 upcoming. We played 2 minutes so far in this game.
Yeah, not surprising. We haven't seen Solon break off any huge plays yet. Brunswick's defense still playing well. They give up the 4th down conversion, but still for the most part able to hold the offense at bay. So, I mean, seems relatively even here so far. Want to see if Solon can really break off something here, though. Get the momentum swinging their direction.
3 receivers to the near side of the field once again. A short throw here into the flats on the near side. And nice tackle in open space as it looked like number 10, Brian McQuaid, would have a little bit of room to run. Not much after he caught that football, though.
This Brunswick team, very good in the pursuit drill. You have a spot to go, break the line of scrimmage. Look, where's the ball? Where do I have to go? What area do I have to cover? They do a good job in all 11 players getting to where they have to be on the pursuit of the ball carrier. When you go behind the line of scrimmage on the pass, it's really hard. This Brunswick team, they're quick.
Back to pass, short throw out to the outside. Ali got a couple yards after on the reception there, and it's now going to be 4th down once again. This one not nearly as short. It was 4th and 2 the last time they went for it, but 4th and 4 upcoming, and this time in what feels like no man's land, they're going to send out the punting unit.
And that's what I love about Brunswick. You might get some yards after the reception, but you are not getting anything after contact. Again, excellent discipline on the defensive side of the ball. You're going to hear me saying that all night, but that's what's going to keep you in games, especially when you're a team like Brunswick. When you're younger, your offense hasn't necessarily been clicking. That kind of discipline on defense is going to keep you competitive.
So 8.5 minutes left, and the play clock was down to 3 seconds. And
False start there, Cole.
Movement up front, as Dom just said. So false start, and the punting unit's going to move back.
You know, this is a team that we saw at the beginning of the year in Brunswick where their defense was all over the place. And they took advantage of it against a really good Cleveland Heights team. They believe that they should have got the win that week.
This one, booming punt hanging high up in the air and fielded right around the 10-yard line there. And the offense with Ethan Roxandich, the junior quarterback, leading the team out onto the field. We'll see what they can do here on their opening drive of this game. Now, Brunswick mentioned their record, 1-7 overall, 1-4 in the GCC. They won against Euclid in a game that was supposed to be on the road, ended up being played here 2 weeks ago by a score of 14-0, fairly defensive game. Last week went on the road to Mentor. Of course, had to make the haul up there and fell on that one 41-0. So got blanked by Mentor, and now they're trying to bounce back here in this one. A great opportunity to get a win against Solon. Of the last 2 meetings between these two teams, 1-1. In 2021, Brunswick won. In 2022, Solon won. Here's the carry. And Roxandich on the keeper, gains about 4.
Yeah, so you're going to see that a lot from them. They like using the rock a lot in the running game. They're either going to hand the ball off inside zone, or they'll add a motion where they'll disguise the inside run, or the rock will have a choice either to give it for an inside run or to take it to the outside, or they like giving it to the wide receiver. But usually they give it first and then they do a fake. There it seemed to be some type of veer option with a motion wide receiver. They run that like their life depends on it. It's really, they only run 4 to 5 plays and they all combo with each other.
Here's a handoff up the middle. Decent carry there. And picking up a couple yards there out to about the 17-yard line. and now 3rd down upcoming.
I'm interested to see how this Comets defense continues to play, because right now they know Brunswick wants to run the ball. That's not a big surprise, but they are really cheating into that box right now, and they are leaving receivers out on islands really on both sides of the formation. So hopefully Brunswick can see that, maybe try to take advantage of it. But again, right now Solon knows what Brunswick wants to do. Now it's up to the Blue Devils to adjust.
3rd and 3. And we'll see if on this first drive, if Solon can get the 3 and out here. Roxandich, keeper, trying to find a space there, and he followed his blockers, and it looked like he got low. Looked like there wasn't a lot of room to run, but when he got low there, he was able to keep those legs churning, and the Rock is a tough guy to tackle, and he got enough yardage to move the chains.
Yeah, he's a really hard kid to tackle. Once he gets that throwing talent up there with his running talent, we could see one of the best dual threats possibly in Northeast Ohio. He's that talented. And watch the deep ball here. He struggles with some of the short routes, but if you let him throw the ball 30, 40, 50 yards, that kid could sling it.
Back to pass, and there you saw the issue there. That one was a wobbler coming out of his hand a little bit early as Hayden Swarm was trying to then break back to that ball, and he released it a little early and just didn't have the accuracy.
And we can see him make a jump from this year to next year.
Yeah.
I mean, we covered a guy that did it in Grunkemeyer. He went from a kid that was unheard of at Olentangy to a kid who's the number 7 recruit in call it this upcoming class.
I just mentioned off air, did you see that he moved up over 100 spots in the national rankings?
Because he's that good.
He is.
But it took for people to see him and for him to fix his mistakes.
And that he did. Here's a handoff once again on 2nd down, trying to get a little bit of space, making it easier here on 3rd down, about 3rd and 8 upcoming now. So Roxandich, a guy who, like we mentioned, we love to see that quarterback power, those runs up the middle. He's a guy who's maybe not the fastest in open space, but again, he's a tough runner. He also has the arm to throw it down the field. He's still working on some of those intermediate and short routes. The other thing, he doesn't have the tallest wide receivers, but he has 2 guys who might be still on the smaller side, but Cooper Neal, number 2, and number 19, Hayden Swarm, are both threats at that position. Roxandich, looking back on the screen, finds his intended target, blockers out ahead, and that's going to be plenty for the 1st down and up past the 45-yard line. Really nice gain there on that play for the Blue Devils.
And it's funny, you talk about Roxandich's kind of his, why can't I think of the word all of a sudden? His mechanics, right? He's got the power, he's got that deep ball throw, he's got the raw talent, but he struggles a little bit with kind of the more technical stuff, and that's the best throw he made today, and it was off of his back foot running backwards on a screen. So it's fun when he can get out there and improvise a little bit and just sling the ball around. Again, when he wants to make that jump, though, it'd be really nice to see him clean up the mechanics.
That was John Crawford IV. We saw a little bit of him last year. We had it in the other 2 games that we've witnessed Brunswick play here this year. He's a guy, maybe watch out for him getting some touches in the backfield, the senior. Short carry on that run. Maybe about half a yard. So still showing his 2nd and 10 on the board. Under 5 minutes left to go. Still 0-0 in the opening quarter.
Now they are stacking receivers near us on the line here, and it does not, unless they're running some kind of zone, it does not look like Solon has enough to cover. Look for him to throw.
4 here on the near side. Quick throw out to Neal. Splits through a couple defenders. I don't know how he got out of that one and surged forward for a gain of an extra 5 yards there past the 50-yard line into Comets territory.
That was a broken play. So you could tell that was weird that they had 4 wide receivers that were bunched up the way they were, but really far apart at the same time. You had 2 stacks, and usually when you have 2 stacks, they're usually in a quad closer together. That wasn't the case. 2 wide receivers went back for the screen. Clearly not what they intended, but it worked out nonetheless. 3rd and short here for the Rock in his Blue Devils.
Despite the busted play, a gain of 8 there on the reception for Neal. Here's the handoff. Plenty of room there to get that 1st down. Move the chains for the Blue Devils, and the drive continues.
And so far, everything kind of working for Brunswick. We're not seeing them get the big chunk plays, but continue to go out there, pound the rock, run the screens, take as much time off the clock as you need, honestly. Like, Solon's offense hasn't shown you a ton. If you can play the time of possession game here, I think Brunswick's going to give themselves a great opportunity to come out with a win.
So after that Colin Kavulik carry, getting the 1st down, ball's at the 43-yard line, receiver in motion. Neal drops it, and he's able to pick that one up.
Ooh.
And he gets slammed to the ground past the 50-yard line. And that's just unfortunate there because, again, we saw against Cleveland Heights, here at home for Brunswick. We saw on the road as well against Medina. They want to get Neal that football, whether that's throwing it to him or on jet sweeps, get him that ball. That time there, it just wasn't maybe put in his pocket well enough for him to secure that one. And maybe fortunate the way it bounced, that it bounced back off of his thigh and he was able to go back and get that one. But, of course, took the punishment for his troubles, loss of 7.
You know, and as I said, like your offense can work if you just grind the ball, but now you put yourself in a very tough situation, 2nd and long.
Movement up front. Roxandich looking to scramble. He's going to get out of this one. Finds a receiver here on the near side. It's caught trying to get up the field. Stiff arm there, gains a couple extra yards and swung down out of bounds, and that's a late hit there on the tackle. Already out of bounds before being brought down on that short throw. And have to say their official was all over that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one's coming back because of the penalty marker that's sitting at about the 37-yard line.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they end up calling this because I have to imagine it was a false start on Brunswick. So I don't know if those just offset
It
then
was.
in that situation.
So you had a wide receiver. Yeah, you had a wide receiver still adjusting his feet, and then a wide receiver in motion at the same time. They seem to, especially the wide receivers, the linemen in the interior, they seem set pretty easily. But the wide receivers, you don't really see this often, are struggling with the pace of play that Brunswick's at. And it's not super fast, but they're not getting the play in time. They're not subbing quick enough, and they're not getting set at the right time.
So interesting enough, the illegal shift against Brunswick was a 5-yard penalty. The late hit out of bounds was a 15-yard penalty, so they moved the ball forward 10 yards.
That's a big break if you're Brunswick because all that essentially does now is eliminate the fumble from earlier. So, you know, good on them for not just giving up on that play, though, right? Like, you still got the ball down the field. Even though those yards didn't count, just keeping the ball in play, you never know what's going to happen. Get a solid 10-yard gain out of it.
And a lot of that's credit to Roxandich as well, doing a nice job avoiding the potential sack there in the backfield. Almost stumbled, stayed on his feet, kept his balance, find a receiver down the field, made something happen. Now got a guy here on the near sideline. That's Crawford again, past the 30-yard line, up to just about the 26 there. Moved the chains again for Brunswick. So a good first drive, has had a couple setbacks, but it hasn't hurt the Blue Devils yet.
I like what he's doing, the Rock, a little under pressure there on his blind side. But what you can't see can't hurt you until you throw the ball, then it hurts. But, you know, he's able to set his feet, make the throw, not worry about contact until it was too late. Beautiful. The chains continue to move here for the Blue Devils.
Here's the handoff. Kavulik trying to get around the edge. And that one, if he was able to get past one more player, he had some room to run. But crashing down was Michael Pierce, the linebacker. And that's a really nice tackle there.
And good job on Pierce for getting in there and, you know, just not allowing that to blow up further. And like we've seen, now Solon has to adjust a little bit because Brunswick has seen something that they're exploiting in that passing game. They're not able to cheat up on the line nearly as much as they were before. So, again, that running lane was nearly there. Interested to see what Brunswick does now.
First quarter's flying by, a minute and a half left. Just one possession apiece to this point. Roxandich, the keeper, makes a nice little move there. Spins out of a tackle. He got hit right around the ankle, lower leg, and not enough to take the guy down. Spun to his left, and then was able to get a couple extra yards after that. Moved the chains again, and now Brunswick's in the red zone. And a reminder that this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
You know, Roxandich, I feel like he runs like a mudslide, right? It's not very fast, but, boy, you're going to have to get out of the way or you're going down with him. It's just so fun to watch him. Like, he's not going to lose yardage any time that he deliberately decides to take off with the ball.
Two receivers to the near side of the field. Tight end lined up to the left of the offensive line. Roxandich, keeper again. Hit after gaining about a yard, and he's able to keep those legs moving and gets an extra 2 after the first contact. And now we're under a minute left, so we're probably going to see about one play remaining here before the end of the quarter.
You know, you said it there, Brandon, where he's like a mudslide. I heard this saying on the Kelsey's podcast. They were talking about Isaiah Pacheco. the saying "no wasted movement." Yeah, he's the opposite of that. You can see every movement he's making. It looks like he's moving slower than he really is. But boy, it's a physical runner when you run that way.
And he is. Here's the reverse there, and actually really not much room for Neal there. Oh, man. Took that hit, and I think we all thought he was going to go to the ground. Somehow, wide receiver stays on his feet there, and he still gets 2 yards. And that is going to take us to the end of the first quarter. A quarter that flew by, as I mentioned just a moment ago, 0-0 between Brunswick and Solon. We'll be right back for the start of the second.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Frankie's Italian Cuisine. Looking for a place to enjoy a post-game meal? Love Italian food? Frankie's Italian Cuisine has you covered from meatball to lasagna. Visit them tonight at 4641 Great Northern Boulevard in North Olmsted and taste the 50-plus years of legacy for yourself. Freedom Auto Detail and Ceramics. Experience the best in automotive luxury and protection with Freedom Auto Detailing in Ceramics. Unleashing the true beauty of your vehicle with expert detailing, premium ceramic coating, and paint protection services. As a veteran-owned and operated business, they take pride in the unique qualities and values that set them apart from other detailing and paint correction services. Find their work online at freedomceramiccoatings.com.
Back for the start of the second quarter here in the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week for Week 9 on the YouTube channel. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you do so. Reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinckleyroofing.com. Well, still 0-0 on the scoreboard. 3rd and 4 upcoming for Brunswick. They're knocking on the door here right now. Roxanich on the keeper, and he's not going to have enough to get there. Well short, and maybe gained a yard there on that carry, and it's going to be 4th down upcoming.
I see what he was looking at there. He thought he could cut back inside for just enough of a gap to get through, but got his leg caught right from underneath. If he would have kept going to the outside like he was planning, he wouldn't have gained a lot, but I think it would have been just enough to get that first down. Tough to see when you're on the field like that, but good on Solon, able to stop the Blue Devils, hopefully just give up 3, get your offense back out on the field.
Well, and if Kavulik, the running back, didn't miss his block there, certainly Roxandich maybe could have had a chance. Kavulik was looking right ahead of him. He was kind of running down the field to his left. If he looked to his right, he maybe could have picked up that block. Needless to say, the field goal's up and no good. That one floated up in the air and you saw it just miss to the left. And after that really long sustained drive there for Brunswick, nothing on the scoreboard, and that hurts. Big win for the Comets with the stop on 3rd down and no points conceded.
And you got to think the timing of the quarter switching over could not have been worse for Brunswick. You had the momentum there. You were driving down the field. Again, Solon regroups, gets the stop, nearly blocked the field goal too. They did an excellent job there on special teams. But overall, if you're Brunswick, you can't be too upset. You know your offense can move the ball. It does suck that you used up that much time and energy, not able to put any points up on the board. But your offense is good enough to hang, clear it from your memory, get back out there and do it again as soon as the defense allows you.
At the rate we're on right now, we may see 4 drives in total here in this entire first half. We'll see if the defense is able to maybe get Solon off the field here quickly. Short completion there on that play. Only a gain of about a yard, so 2nd and 9 now upcoming.
And the defense looked pretty good the first time they were out. Again, they had the 4th down conversion that they gave up to Solon, but ultimately only 7 offensive plays the Comets got to run before giving it back over to Brunswick. So hopefully they can come back out with the same intensity.
Did have to convert on 4th and short. It was 4th and 2 to be exact, and then on 4th and 4 decided we're going to send the punting unit out there on the field and kick that one away. 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Here's the carry. Trying to get around the edge there is number 17, Jack Sanders. Finds a little bit of room. Gain of about 4 there, and now 3rd down upcoming.
You know, they like getting their linemen out in space on the outside, which I don't mind. Usually when teams like getting the ball, outside of where the offensive linemen are, they usually like it because there are no big guys there to stop their quicker guys. But here, they like their linemen out there. They think that they can leave the slower defense behind, but that's not the case. This is a quick Brunswick team. They do not yield to fast competition at all.
So instead of third down upcoming, there was a penalty marker on the field. It's going to back up the offensive Solon, and a 2nd and long now upcoming. I'll touch on something here on this Brunswick defense after this play. 2nd and 19 from the 11-yard line. Clock continues to tick down here right now. 2 minutes off of the clock in the second quarter. Still zeros on the scoreboard. On the run there. Looking for a receiver. Throw is low, and it's hauled in by number 10, Brian McQuaid, at the 15-yard line.
Good job. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I like that it's disguised as a wheel route. You have the safety backpedaling, then boom, out route. You're not expecting that out of the back in the backfield there after running what appears to be a wheel route. That's just a well-designed play. Doesn't need anything else comboed with it for it to be successful.
So 3rd and 14 now. Again, really liking to go out of the shotgun with the running back in the backfield with the quarterback, Cormuth, and using 4 receivers out there on the field. Again, going to have to throw one a little bit down the field to get a man, and had him wide open. Beat the defensive back who slipped there. McQuaid, if he was able to be on stride with that football, he hauls that one in. He takes that one to the house, but Cormuth just missed, and certainly nothing McQuaid could do to try to catch up to that one as fast as he was trying to run.
And again, throw just a little bit off mark. I mean, overall, Cormuth hasn't played too bad to this point. Just haven't had a lot of opportunities to really move the ball down the field. And, you know, even if you're Solon, even if you didn't put points up, it was important to keep the offense out there for a little bit of a sustained drive. You've got to get your defensive breather, right? They were on the field for dang near the whole first quarter, part of the second quarter as well. Now they got to try to hold up again against this relentless Blue Devils offense.
4th down, sending this one away, takes a Comets bounce right around the 50-yard line, and they're going to get a good about 17, 18 additional yards off of that because of the bounce. And here comes the Blue Devils offense for their second drive. But I want to go back to the Blue Devils defense, okay? Why did they have success against Cleveland Heights? It's because the Blue Devils are really good against the run and short passes. When things are in front of them, Brunswick's disciplined with wrapping up, keeping their head up, seeing that tackle and good form tackles, and they really don't jump on and almost kind of stab in space and get beat. They're really disciplined. Where they struggle is when they go against your passing teams that really like to air it out, those intermediate routes, those deep routes, a Medina where they struggled. So if Solon, again, is throwing underneath and they're running the ball, it really plays into the hands of Brunswick's defense. Now, because of that 3 and out, the offense on the field, and they throw that one short, gain of just about 2 there. 2nd and 8 now upcoming.
You know, they're really going with the short passes today. That appeared to be an out route there. Didn't see the very beginning of that route developing. But they're really starting to hit routes here. I like what they're doing. Usually they're just run, throw deep. Run, throw deep. But now they're mixing in some shorter routes, getting their playmakers out in space, including Neal, who's one of the better playmakers we've seen.
Rock Sandich out to the far side, trying to get around the edge. Block was set there and tripped up at about the 35-yard line, but Neal falls forward for about 2 additional yards there. Ball at the 37.
Yeah, obviously they see something they like in this Solon defense that's caused them to throw the ball a little bit more. But, you know, you look at both teams, one of them 1-6, one of them 1-7. Obviously not necessarily looking at playoff aspirations, but if nothing else, this game plan right now I think is really going to help with Rock Sanich's development overall. Like, we don't see him out there throwing the ball like this very often. The more that you can get under your belt going into your next season, better off you're going to be.
A lot of good quarterbacks, I would argue, here in this conference as well. Rock Sandich, he wants to air this thing out. He's got a man down the field off of the fingertips there of his intended wide receiver. And Neal was the guy streaking down the field. He had a step, and the defensive back, as Neal was looking over his shoulder trying to haul that one in, it looked like Harley Barman was able to actually gain some ground, and maybe he was able to get his arms in there enough to really disrupt things for Neal, but that was oh so close.
I like that a lot. He launched that ball. I'll tell you what, he probably could have got more on it if he had to. Again, he threw it a little too far, but boy, the Rock, he has a cannon attached to his right arm, that's for certain.
So now, after the incompletion, 4th and 5, high snap on the punt. able to jump up and cleanly catch that one and send this one away. It's returned from about the 26-yard line, slipping past one tackler, spinning past another one, out past the 35, and down at the 37. And here come the Comets again. Still zeros on the scoreboard. Can anybody break this deadlock here in the first half?
I nearly thought we were about to break it open on that punt return. I realized the design was probably to send all your blockers and run over to the left, but man, the returner had the entire right side of the field. I feel like he'd have easily picked up another 20 or 30 if he would have just gone that direction. Instead, followed his blocker. Still a good return. Still did a good job of staying upright, but man, I really thought they had a chance to bust it open there.
So now let's see if the Comets want to uncork this thing a little bit. Maybe take a shot down the field. They had an opportunity, just missed McQuaid down the field. When things have been in front of that Blue Devils defense, Solon's been stopped. This time a run. Cormuth, short throw, finds his receiver, hits caught. Plenty for the first down, out past the 50-yard line, but I do see a penalty marker down at the 43-yard line, closer to the sideline of the Comets. And there's the call, ineligible man downfield. So what was good play for the Comets is now coming back again.
That's the worst, isn't it? That's never happened to me. There's been times where, well, usually it's an offensive lineman that's, he's running, I'm going to go with them. And then you look behind you, and the quarterback is standing there without the ball, and you're confused. It's happened to my teammates. It's a mistake that happens, especially now that you have, like, RPOs. It's like, as a lineman, like, am I pass blocking? Am I run blocking? Where am I going? Who am I? You know what's going on sometimes. And in that instance, that must have been the case.
Cormuth rolling to his right. He's got a man wide open. He just missed him. If you put that on that inside shoulder, that's probably a catch there by Josh Grafton. And again, he's got nothing but green in front of him.
That may have not have been just a catch, Cole. That may have been a house call.
Yep.
Because there was no one near him except the referee. I mean, there was nothing but clear air in the moonlight in front of him.
Solon's run some good plays that have looked like they could have been big plays.
They're getting guys open.
It's just a matter of Cormuth needs to find them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on top of that, too, you've had two crucial penalties that have backed you up to second and long, third and long, and it's just tough to run your offense like that. You don't design your offense to pick up 15 yards at a time.
Well, they're going to have to do it again here. 2nd and 15. Throw out to the far side, and that is going nowhere. Caught, gain of just a couple, but it's still going to be 3rd and very long.
They're really keeping the ball away from the inside of the soul of this Brunswick's defense, and that's because of Keegan O'Malley. Let's be real here. I mean, he has the cowboy collar on, or if you're old school, call it a neck roll. He is the type of guy that if you run the ball between the tackles, he's going to meet you hat for hat. He could be anywhere on the field. He moves sideline to sideline, north and south, whatever you want. This young linebacker can do. He is really the heart and soul of this defense.
Well, looking to apply some pressure off the edge. Has a good run at the quarterback. And O'Malley's there to help clean up. But another edge rusher getting in the backfield there, and that's actually Colin Kavulik, the junior linebacker on the sack. And loss of even more yards for the Comets. And, of course, 4th and 17, they have to send the punting unit out again.
I'll tell you what, man, these linebackers, if they even sniff that there might be some type of run where the quarterback is exposed, they are there in seconds. I'd like to see the 40 times on the linebackers, man, because they're not traditional when it comes to speed on the high school level. They are quick, and they're not scared to make contact.
O'Malley was moving from that far side, and it really pushed Cormuth to the near side, right into the arms of Kavulik. Well drawn up play defensively by the coaching staff. Really well executed by that linebacking core as well. And now actually not the worst field position here for Brunswick as they try to come out on the field. Last drive, they weren't able to do a whole lot. Things really went awry for them. But the previous drive, they really should have ended up with points. They still have plenty of time on the clock, 6 minutes, but I wouldn't be surprised if this team finds a way to take all 6 minutes here to end the quarter.
I mean, they might need more than the time allowed knowing this offense. They might need 9 or 10 just to get down to the end zone. That's not a dig at them. They're running the wing tee, Cole. Uh-oh, sound the alarms.
So out of the wing tee, here's the pitch. Looking for some room. Actually a good gain there on that first carry of about 5.
You guys are joking about the time, right, that they're going to need to get down the field. The band has already taken that cue for Solon. They're heading down on the field getting ready. They know for a fact that this could very easily be the last drive here in the first half.
I mean, Brunswick's band's been down there since the 10-minute mark. I mean, they are ready to go for the halftime show. They know it's going to be quick.
Tell you what, Cooper Neal just keeps touching the football. This time, a keeper for Rock Sandich. He has some room to run. That's going to be plenty for the first down. Lowers the shoulder. Boom! Past the 50 and to the 47.
Yeah, no thank you.
That was intentional.
It's a freight train with legs, I'll tell you what. Oh,
I swear, there was a target painted on the chest there of the defender there. Rock Sandich, the eyes lit up, and he said, yeah, I'm going to put you on your back.
He saw the red towel waving in the air, telling him exactly where to go.
My goodness. 2 plays, though. 1 minute off of the clock. Under 5 left to go here in the quarter. 1st and 10. Rock Sandich, he's got time. He's got man wide open. Down the field. Caught. And into the end zone. The receiver goes. Touchdown, Brunswick. The Blue Devils take a lead, and I believe that's Cooper Neal again. That guy continues to touch the football. What a route. What a throw by Rock Sandich.
So this is a really cool play design, right? I mean, Navy won national championships with this, but before the World War II, using play designs like this. I'll tell you, Georgia Tech winning games in the 90s using these plays. You do a fake pitch, right? A fake flip power to the outside. That wingback goes out in a route, but you have a wide receiver and a tight end that go in a route. One goes in an out route, and then the other you just go straight to the end zone. The coach staff is saying go straight towards the blue. That's exactly what they did, right on the dot. Beautiful play design and beautiful execution.
So PAT is up and good, and well, 6 minutes was plenty of time for Brunswick. They take a shot deep. Rock Sandich finds Neal, and I mean, Neal just keeps touching the football. Jet sweeps, reverses. They go out of the wing T, and he acts as the wing back, and they pitch it to him, and then they go down the field on a deep shot, and that time he finds wide open space. Defensive back got close to him, but still untouched into the end zone. And Brunswick, they hold a 7-0 lead, and the Comets still have time. But the way the Brunswick defense has been playing, if you're the Comets, you feel like a good drive here, putting points on the board would be a huge win because things just aren't going your way at the moment.
Now, real quick before we get back into Solon, I know you mentioned Neal on that drive was all over the place. But Rock Sandich, man, you've got to clip that entire segment and put that on your highlight reel. Knocking the defender over on the quarterback run and then setting up the play action and hitting a man deep. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that if you're a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a college recruiter, I mean, this guy's a junior. He's still got some time. He's got another year that he gets to play in high school football, but he keeps getting better and better. We saw the abilities last year. He's already improved since last year as well, and he has definitely not hit his ceiling as well. I think he's got more in the tank as well. On the return, out to the 20-yard line, and that is where the Comets will come out on the field offensively again.
They have to move quickly, and they've kind of struggled to really get anything going, as we've seen. We can see Brunswick getting the ball back fairly quickly if the trend of Solon's offense continues. You know, Brunswick, they will chew the clock away if you let them. And you know, Brunswick, they will take up the whole time if you give them 3 minutes. So you need to at least get to the 50-yard line. If you don't, it's a failed drive. If you can get there and drain the clock out, get to halftime, that's a success.
So linebacker showing pressure here. Again, it's going to be a run, trying to get around the edge, and no room for Sanders to run. He tried to bounce that thing and pushed out of bounds pretty quickly.
Now here's my challenge again for Solon. It comes back to discipline once again. Cormuth not playing too bad right now. He's completed the passes that he's needed to. He's found some success in the short to intermediate area. The problem is you keep forcing your team to go back 5 yards, 10 yards, and you're fighting uphill immediately. Even if you don't put points on the board, just sustain something here. Get your offense in rhythm. Get your defense some rest. Get back into that locker room and, just keep it a one-score game. You still got plenty of opportunity to stay in this.
Cormuth back to pass. Pressure in his face. Ball's out. Ball is out. That Blue Devils defense playing physical. Got hands in there. Tried to rip away at that one. Now, it sat up on the turf quite well for the white jerseys to get to that one first. as there were a couple white jerseys closer to the football than the Blue Devils trying to crash in. But my goodness, that pushes the ball back even further. Already had lost 1 yard on the previous play. Loss of 7 there, now 3rd and 18.
This offense, they're going to have a lot of time here now to do whatever they want with the ball. If their defense can do what they've done all day, and that's going with a stop with 4th and way too long, or 3rd and way too long, pardon me. This defense has done everything they've been asked and more.
Cormuth isn't getting any time in the pocket, will he here? Instead, a short throw and asking Sanders to do a lot. Got a good positive gain of 8 yards there, so back to the original line of scrimmage, but now going to be 4th and 10. Punting unit's going to have to come out on the field, and they're going to kick this one away. Play clock has 30 seconds, and so we're going to see this one kicked away probably right at the 3-minute mark. So about 3 minutes that you're going to see Rock Sandwich and the offense have to work.
I would have called a timeout. You have 3 timeouts, 2 to work a good way of the field. Stop the clock. You have 30 extra seconds.
Nearly got fingertips to that one, trying to block that fair catch at the 48-yard line. So really good field position, obviously with the short amount of time left. Again, 3 minutes and 7 seconds to be exact, as you have 52 yards to go to get to the end zone.
This is a team where, they have big play potential. It's seemingly every time they have an opportunity with the ball, but they do that by being methodical. They're not a team like Medina where they have the wide receivers that are always open. It's their play design and the execution by these kids allows them to take a shot. It gives them an opportunity. It doesn't matter who they play, because we've seen them even against Medina when that game was out of reach by the time we got to the second quarter. But they're going to go shotgun, empty set here. They're going to spread the ball out.
Man in motion, Rock Sandwich, empty set, screen over the middle, getting the offensive lineman involved, and that's the type of screen there over the middle that Dom Clary will like, because the offensive linemen are out in front blocking. Decent gain on that play.
So funny enough that those screens where you're right up the alley there, they're kind of scary because you never know where the ball's going to go. I've had a few of those hit me in the leg, hit me in the helmet. I just had a few playoff games where the ball would go right over my head and I'd see it hit a defender in the hands. Those make me nervous, but they can make a good gain if you execute on it well.
Yeah, when you get the big hefties involved, again, it helps clear out some space there. 2nd and 2 now after that catch there for Neil. Rock Sandwich, the keeper. He's going to have plenty to get the first down and some past the 40-yard line up to the 37. So offense moving pretty quickly here right now. They're taking their time, still get the calls in. Calm, cool, collected, but a couple decent-sized gains, and now you have 37 yards to go, 2 minutes left.
Yeah, but to Dom's credit, again, you've picked up a decent amount of yardage, but you've already taken a full minute off the clock. A third of your time is gone. You got to keep that pace going, and you can't have any mistakes.
3 receivers to the far side of the field. Rock Sandwich looking in the near side. Defender lays out for that one. And that was Pierce. Almost looked like he'd get the fingertips to that one and knock that down, but a short completion there on the quick throw.
No, they're calling that incomplete.
Oh, they did call that one incomplete.
It was very close, but the line judge right on the side of him ended up saying it hit the ground first.
That's actually not a bad thing for Brunswick. It allows you to stop the clock. They're not using their timeouts for some reason. I'm curious to see what the clock management's going to be here with 2 minutes left. I wouldn't be surprised if they use them.
Sean Barnett, a backup quarterback, the receiver who was intended on that play, the one before that we saw that was called incomplete. And the short run there for Rock Sandwich of about a yard. And so the clock's going to continue to tick down now.
It is
taking too much time, Dom.
It's every time we cover them, it's clock management at the end of the half. I don't really, I'm never taking a shot at the coaches because they take out of their time to do good work with these kids. But you have 3 timeouts. Use them.
Rock Sandwich rolling to his left. He wants to throw this one down the field. He's got a man, and he underthrows that one. It's actually intercepted at the 1 yard line, though there is a penalty marker down at the 25-yard line. This is going to be holding defensively against the Comets, so a break there for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, it is a break, and not just because of that pick, but even if it's incomplete, you have 1:21. You have 3 timeouts. This is I remember last year against Menor here, they had an opportunity to tie or take the lead or
Yep.
bring the game in closer before half in a game they were competing in. And they didn't use timeouts. They weren't able to drive down the field in time. Almost the same scenario. They actually had to drive longer with less time. And they almost did it.
Now let me throw this at you. The only thing I could possibly think, because obviously the way this offense is designed is to grind and grind and grind. And you're not really seeing a lot of scoring outside of the red zone. Are they hoping to get into the red zone and then, continue to use running plays and call the timeouts when they're trying to punch it in 2 or 3 times in a row?
But they're running the ball now and they're not picking up first downs quick enough.
Fair.
If you're picking up first downs, you're 100% right. It just doesn't work here.
Rock Sandich, the screen. Kavulik has room to run to the 10, to the 5, and he makes his way into the end zone. A touchdown for the Blue Devils. Well, even though things weren't moving quick, that will do it for you. And the Blue Devils take now a 2-score lead.
They used him a lot here today in a lot of different runs. They've used him in the pass game from time to time, especially on plays like that, just short, quick screen plays. He's very, very successful here today. I don't think we saw him much the first 2 times, did we?
Yeah, we did see him a little bit those first couple times. But we actually saw a lot of carries the first game against Cleveland Heights, as this PAT is up and good, so 14-0. But we saw a lot of number 23, Eli Nichols, in that first game. He got some carries, split time with Kavulik. And really it seems like in that Medina game, they were using a lot of Neal on the jet sweep, using Kavulik in the backfield. But, of course, they were trailing that whole time to Medina, so they were having to try to go to the air a little bit more. And obviously we saw Barnett get a little bit of time at quarterback as well. In this one, though, Kavulik has really been their workhorse on the ground, aside from Rock Sandich, their quarterback. And I really like that screen there, too. Shocking thing is, after the initial level was blocked, there was nobody in the second or the third level. I mean, he was untouched as soon as he got past his line.
No, not at all, and I think that's credit to the play design. That was a very slow developing screen, and it looked like the line had really started to collapse into the middle to try to go and pursue Rock Sandich, and he set it up perfectly. The blockers came in perfectly, and, like you said, by the time the play really developed, everyone that was on that second level had already kind of cheated in and started pursuing the quarterback. So, again, excellent execution, excellent play design all around by the Blue Devils.
Springer back to return, as is Max Thompson. This one takes a hop near the sideline. Springer's going to pick it up, try to switch the field, and slips past the tackler, swung down right around the 14-yard line. So a long way to go for Solon to try to pull one back here before we go to halftime. 1:04 seconds left. Want to remind everybody during half, don't go anywhere. Stay here for the Hinckley Roofing halftime show. Dom Clary, of course, going to give you score updates from around Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, and especially now, guys, I know if you haven't tuned in for halftime, if you take this time to go and, have a bathroom break, get a snack, whatever it might be, we're getting close to playoff time. There are some tight races around Northeast Ohio, so really this is the time to be keyed in more than ever. So make sure you stick around for that halftime report.
Absolutely. That is for sure. Lurking around the corner, and a lot of teams scrapping for position, scrapping to get into the playoffs. Short throw, and able to scoot out of bounds. Tackle was a little bit late there. I think that was, again, one where Harley Barman caught the ball, was trying to get out of bounds, and drug down from behind, and maybe fortunate for the Blue Devils that they didn't get called for unnecessary roughness for the late tackle there. And now we see a penalty marker on the far side, and it's probably going to be against Solon, is my guess, because of their frustration with not getting a call.
Every single drive, and I know this one was unlikely for you to get anything anyway, being this deep, but every drive has had at least one crucial mistake for Solon, and you just cannot operate like that. Again, these teams coming in fairly evenly matched. I really don't think the offenses are too far apart, but again, you continue to shoot yourself in the foot over and over again. Not going to help.
Appears like they just picked up the penalty marker. Nothing happened.
They must have heard.
So 2nd and 5, and now running is Cormuth. He's going to be able to get the first down yardage and step out of bounds. So that stops the clock at 53 seconds. 1st and 10 now upcoming from the 30-yard line.
Tell me if I'm wrong. That is only the second first down that Solon has been able to pick up so far this game. And the first one took 4 downs to do it. So hopefully now get this offense flowing a little bit more.
And of course, that was the first drive of the game. Couple drives where everything's just been going backwards for Solon. Now they're actually getting a little positive momentum, but is it too little, too late? As I mentioned, 53 seconds left. 4 receivers out there on the field looking in the near side. Again, a really short throw. And, man, you got a lot of yards to go. I understand they're doing a good job of stepping out of bounds, but 3, 4, 5 yards doing that play after play after play isn't going to be enough to get you down the field because that still burns 4 or 5 seconds.
But it will get you close enough for a Hail Mary.
That's true.
It's sometimes you got to think about the big picture here, Cole. Always a Hail Mary in sight.
Dom, the guy who likes to take a knee and go to half, is thinking Hail Mary here right now. You heard it here first. Throw over the middle, and that went intercepted. Forget about the Hail Mary chance. Brunswick takes over possession just past the 40-yard line.
Right now, I feel like an idiot, and Brunswick might be the smartest time management team of all time because they knew that they were going to get a pick on Solon's side of the field, and they don't need a Hail Mary now. Now they have 3 timeouts. They can maybe not run your offense, but run your third down packages, get some first downs. You won't need to burn the timeouts, and then boom, Brandon's theory will be correct. You have 3 timeouts for the red zone. Wow, they make me seem like a fool.
So 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line, 43 seconds left, and feels like that football's gone a lot to Cooper Neal. We'll see if Rock Sanders looks his way. Looking to the near side, and that one short and going to fall incomplete. Certainly the effort there from Barnett diving back to that football. Again, just one of those things where Rock Sanders, I understand why he's trying to put a little bit lower there. You don't want to overthrow and sail that one, but at the same time, got to put up just a little bit more for your receiver there. And that's something that if he can work on some of those intermediate, some of those short throws in the offseason, Rock Sanders could be a really complete quarterback.
Yeah, I think another thing is that, reading defense is a little bit better. He's a little predictable with his eyes and his footwork. He kind of locks on one guy the whole time. Even his wide receivers tell us watching the routes, they kind of stop. They don't really turn aggressively expecting the ball. They know exactly where the ball is going to go.
Well, a run, and this one's going to go backwards for about a loss of 2 yards. So here's a timeout being taken, and a 3rd and 12 now upcoming with 33 seconds left. So after the incompletion, interesting that they wanted to go to the run there. Probably thought that they could get some blocking, get some better yardage, but now, again, you're not necessarily a team that operates in these 3rd and long situations or these long situations super well because you're so run heavy. Now you got to do some thinking here. Of course, though, no man's land. If you can get maybe even 7, 8 of these yards back, you might think about on 4th down.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't even focus on that. I would hit Cooper Neal deep. You have a weapon who is, really one of the better guys that we've seen that isn't talked about enough. We talk about a lot of guys here in this area when it comes to just offensive weapons, deadly no matter where they get the ball. He's one of them, and I think he's underestimated because of his size. But right now, if I'm the play caller, it's wherever Cooper Neal is, he's getting the ball. At the high school level, you can do that. Just mark a guy and throw it right to him.
Of course, you have Swarm out on the far side as well. Rock Sandage looking to step up in the pocket. Finds Barnett, slips a tackle. That's going to be enough for the first down. Pulled down at the 25-yard line. So 23 seconds still on the clock. And there's that timeout. So an opportunity to talk things over as now you've entered the red zone. And a reminder that this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
Rock Sanders, he does get a little antsy in the pocket. And I don't blame him. His offensive line does a good job. But, you feel defenders all around you. You kind of, do I throw? Do I run? What do I do?
Especially when you like to run.
Yeah, but you know what? They go against these teams that are some of the best in the state. Medina always has a good pass rush. Mentor's big and physical. They match them physically, and they struggle blocking from time to time. And yeah, when you play those teams, they get to you quick. But here, he doesn't have to run nearly as much in design pass plays. He can just stay in the pocket, take a hit or two like prime Big Ben, and just throw the ball when he feels comfortable.
Well, there's our Steelers reference here. We knew we'd get it at some point. It comes with 23 seconds left in the second quarter. So that 1st and 10 upcoming now from the 24. 4 receivers out there on the field. Out of the gun, Roxanich has Kavulik to his left. Back to pass, has a little bit of time. Looking to the far side, and Barnett hauls that one in. Clever little play there from Barnett. Didn't fully extend his arms, but gave the defensive back a little bit of a nudge to clear some space. Got the separation, and Roxanich dropped it right in on Barnett. The catch, the extension to the pylon there, and into the end zone. And the Blue Devils now take a 3-possession lead, pouring it on.
And he's only a sophomore, Barnett.
And we saw him get quarterback reps
Yeah,
in the Medina game as well.
He's going to be big for him next year. If he's doing this as a kid who doesn't have a license yet, imagine what he'll. I guess in Ohio it's different. I guess in Ohio it's different. You guys get your permit when you're 15, but it's a kid that can barely drive, and he's doing this now. I mean, we saw him make a few incredible plays. He had a few of those diving plays he could have caught. This could be a kid that is huge for him next year as they look to really compete. Next year, and they want to kind of show that here tonight against Solon.
Well, that PAT was low, but it snuck over the bar. And it's now 21-0, 16 seconds left. And I would say at this point, again, you could send this one deep, but maybe to not risk a big return here, you could easily squib this one as well. We'll see what Brunswick decides to do, but you'd think it will really only be enough time for one offensive play for Solon.
Guys, I just want to point out something. Since the 6-minute mark when the band came down and we were joking that it may only be one more drive before this half is over, Brunswick has managed to put up 14 points.
Yeah.
Best offensive performance we've seen from him.
Oh, by far.
Absolutely. This one takes a couple hops, fielded at the 22, and then slide down just past the 27-yard line. Looks like they're going to spot this up close to the 29. And that's where, with 13 seconds left, Cormuth and the offense come back out onto the field. And question it is here, down 3 scores, having 13 seconds, do you want to try to, throw a little play to the outside, get a couple yards here, maybe 10, 15 yards, get out of bounds, maybe have a shot to throw the Hail Mary, or do you take the knee? It looks like they're going to try to be aggressive and go with the offense out on the field. Cormuth back to pass. He's going to run. Tries to make a man miss an open space. He's going to slip out of bounds, it looks like, close to the 40-yard line with just under 5 seconds left. So maybe a chance here for the Comets.
I mean, if you want to be aggressive, sure, but nothing has gone well for you in this first half. You're down 21-0, essentially, after just one bad quarter. You played them tough in the first. Get the heck out of the second quarter and get in the halftime. Get in that locker room, get fluids, be in the nice heat, hoping they have heat in the away locker room. Get off the field right now and readjust your game plan. I wouldn't prolong this any longer. This has been an abysmal quarter, and that's okay. It happens. Get in the locker room. What can we do to fix it? Time has not escaped them yet. They can still adjust.
And I agree with you, Dom, and I especially agreed with you when there were still 12 seconds on the clock. But good news now, even if you turn the ball over if you're Solon, Brunswick probably won't have enough time to drive down the field.
Probably.
I'm not completely committing myself.
This defense is fast, though. If one of these cornerbacks or safeties or anyone in the secondary can get an interception, it could be a house call. You have to be careful.
Cormuth back to pass. And that throw almost intercepted. I mean, the dive there, and it was nearly intercepted with 0.5 seconds left. So you think if that one's actually hauled in and considered an interception, then maybe the Blue Devils have a chance to chuck one down the field. Instead, another opportunity here for the Comets, and I'm a little surprised by that play. It looked like McQuaid was turning over his left shoulder back to that one, slipped, and again, that one wasn't anywhere close to him. So now on 2nd and 10, Cormuth back to pass. Instead, going to run it, and that's going to do it. So again, they ran a couple plays, seemed a little bit conservative there, and well, they're going to go to the locker room, and it's needed for the Comets as they trail 21-0 here at Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium. The Blue Devils looking to add their second win of the season. We'll see if the Blue Devils can keep up their performance in the second half or if the Comets can really adjust their game plan. For myself, Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, and Brandon Soder, we'll step aside here for a few minutes. But a reminder that the Hinckley Roofing halftime show is upcoming with score updates from Dom.
This November, vote Joe DeMio for Berea Clerk of Courts. Strongsville City Councilman Joe DeMio has over 25 years of experience serving the people of Northeast Ohio. He will put his over 25 years of court experience and over 2 decades of city council experience to work for you. DeMio is a name to be trusted. His judicial experience at the county level has him serving 4 judges and trusted by thousands. When you vote for DeMio, it truly is experience working for you. You can find out more at joedemio.com. This ad was paid for by the Friends of Joe DeMio for Berea Clerk of Courts. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Great Lakes Training. Great Lakes Basketball caters to athletes of all ages and experience levels with a wide variety of training techniques. Book your first session today at www.greatlakesbasketball.com or email Coach J at coachj@greatlakesbasketball.com. Got You Covered Medina. Got You Covered of Medina offers affordable and high-quality blinds and shades that can completely transform the interior of your property. With affordable pricing and experts in the field of home redecorating to guide you, check them out online at www.gotchacovered.com/Medina or call them at 330-446-3647. Suburban Cement. Since 1978, Suburban Cement has been your trusted choice for all your cement needs. From driveways and walks to patios, steps, and garage floors, they have you covered. Quality products, quality workmanship, and quality people. Find out more about this family-owned and operated company rated by the BBB at suburbancement.net or give them a call at 440-235-0077. The Gutter Boys. At the Gutter Boys, they believe there's a better way to do gutters. The gutter industry is one that is easily entered, but true professionalism is what separates them from the rest. Reach out to them today at 440-271-8847.
Welcome to the Hinckley Roofing Halftime Show. I'm Dominic Clary, live here at Brunswick as the Solon Band is rocking the house down. They've been terrific, playing hits all over the place, but that's no here or there. Let's talk about some of the scores across Northeast Ohio. Brunswick, boy, they're putting up some points here off of the rock. 21-0. Brunswick putting on a performance. Ethan Roxandich, the Rock, putting on a show. Statistically, his best game we've seen from him thus far in his young career as a junior. Once again, they're up 21-0 against Solon. Devin Lowe, he is following Aurora in Barberton. He's giving us live updates. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. You can see me retweeting his tweets. You can see the Keon Sports Twitter page also retweeting it. Aurora's up 14-0 against the Barberton Magic. Avon, they're struggling against Amherst Steel. Avon is only up by a touchdown thus far. 14-7 is the score. We'll update you on that one, as that can mean some big news if Avon continues to struggle against Amherst. North Ridgeville going against Avon Lake, two teams in similar spots. This can determine who will be third in the SWC. A lot on the line and a lot of playoff seeding on the line as well. North Ridgeville leads thus far 14-10 after Avon Lake just hit a field goal. One of the surprise teams in the SWC, a team that's always battling for third and fourth and sometimes falls to fifth. They're proving that this is a year that we are the second best team in the SWC, as Berea Mid-Park is beating Olmsted Falls 21-6. A surprise score there for the battle of the Bagley Cup. Berea Mid-Park, it's been some years since they took the trophy home. Cleveland Heights, they've had a good year thus far in their first year of the GCC, but right now they're struggling against Euclid. They've had a doozy of a year, some would say. It's reflected there on the score for the most part this year, but right now they're battling Cleveland Heights. It is 7-6. We'll continue updating on that as we're covering a GCC game here today. This could mean big things, especially for teams amongst the conference. Holy Name and Lakewood. Lakewood is up 7-0 against Holy Name. They struggled last week against Canfield. Lakewood, they are a team that struggled this year as well. 7-0's the score. We'll update you on that for the rest of the game. Shaker Heights, they are leading Medina 26-21. Shaker Heights has come on the scene as a surprise in the GCC in their first season, along with Cleveland Heights. They're looking to prove that they are the second best team in this conference in just their first year. Medina looking to prove otherwise. We'll update you on this game as it continues. Midview, they are beating Elyria 28-7. May not be a huge surprise, but Medina, they're looking to add, or not Medina, pardon me, Midview, they're looking to add some wins in that column. They've struggled to put it there, but Elyria, they've struggled as well. Menor, they're beating Strongsville 28-0. Strongsville, not the year they expected. We thought that they'd be taking a step up. Has not been the case, but Menor, they continue being a top dog in the GCC. That's it from the Hinckley Roofing Halftime Show. Make sure to watch the rest of the game. Look for scoring updates across Northeast Ohio on the Keon Sports Twitter page. Once again, the Hinckley Roofing Halftime Show. I'm Dominic Clary.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Helene Kia. Looking for a new or used car? Check out our guy Jim McConville at Helene Kia in North Olmsted on Lorraine Road. Jim is a member of the auto community for the last 20 years and will treat you right no matter your car buying need. He's an expert at new and used car deals, including trade-ins and financing. Hinckley Roofing. They are your first choice in commercial or residential roofing. This family-run company has been around for 50 years and is your first choice in trusted roofing needs. You can find them online today at hinkleyroofing.com or call them at 330-273-2979, as they use only the best products on the market to get the job done right every single time. JBL Roofing and Construction. JBL is a licensed, bonded, and insured contractor with the experience to complete any job needed for your home or property. Let their team of professionals help you with vinyl siding, windows, roofing, and gutters. Get the job done right the first time and stress-free with JBL. Call them today at 330-677-9463 or visit them on the web at jblrc.com. Jenny's Popcorn. You can find their flavors anywhere popcorn is sold, including Giant Eagle and Mark's. Visit them online at jennyspopcorn.com or in person at 38727 Taylor Parkway in North Ridgeville, Ohio. They have everything from butter, cheese, caramel, and everything in between at this popcorn paradise. Kelly McLean Achievement Center, the premier resource for high school athletes who wish to continue to play in college. They provide a one-on-one consultative approach to help students determine their needs and goals. Visit them online at kellymac.com. Laura Bosworth. Buying and selling a home can be stressful. You need a kind, caring realtor who puts her clients first. Consult with full-time area expert Laura Sirigliano Bosworth with Century 21 Homestar and the 21 Mike team. Call or text 440-552-1904 or email Laura at laura@21mike.com. Makeaway Dumpster. At Makeaway, customers get discounts on days and prices. They offer 24-hour delivery in most cases, along with 10, 15, 20, and 25 cubic yard containers. With Makeaway, there are no hidden charges for drop-off, pickup, or wait. Find them at makeawaydumpsterrental.com. Mangiabella Italian Goods. If you love Italian food like we do, then you need to swing over to Mangiabella Italian Goods at 22560 Lorraine Road in Fairview. This family-run business knows that a happy belly is a full belly. From vintage homemade pasta to meatball subs the size of your head, you will be in a food lover's paradise. You've tried the rest, now have the best. MDG Flooring. If you're in need of quality flooring for your home or office, look no further than MDG Flooring America in Medina. There is nothing that Steve and his talented staff cannot handle. Call them today at 330-725-5252 or stop in and visit them in person at 3812 Pearl Road in Medina. My 22 Veterans. September is Suicide Prevention Month. Veterans tend to be at a higher risk for suicide, and unfortunately, medications and doctor visits aren't always the answer. My 22 Veterans helps connect veterans to alternate therapies, such as art, equestrian, and aviation programs. If you're a veteran looking for different options, or if you'd like to support their work by making a donation, visit my22veterans.org today. My Medicare Network. My Medicare Network is a local insurance agency that specializes in helping seniors compare and enroll into a Medicare insurance plan. They represent all major carriers, which will save you time and frustration. And when working with My Medicare Network, you'll be confident you selected the best plan for your needs. Nancy's Main Street Diner. They only prepare your meals with the freshest ingredients. The dishes are made to order as they never use heat lamps, and they take no shortcuts whatsoever. They're located at 426 Main Street in Grafton, Ohio. Nancy's Main Street Diner is your choice for all 3 daily meals. Pope Fitness. It's a gym for everyone. Don's road to being a World's Strongest Man finalist gave him a deep appreciation for fitness at every level. He created Pope Fitness to help every individual reach their goals and maintain the motivation it takes to get there. Visit them today at 33789 Center Ridge Road in North Ridgeville. Pristine Clean, Ohio. Pristine Clean has one goal: to be the best power washing company in Northeast Ohio. The commitment began in 2008 when owner Ken Wilson founded the company, which has since grown into one of the largest locally owned and operated power washing companies in the nation. Give them a call at 440-209-3780.
Less than a minute away from the second half kickoff, where the Brunswick Blue Devils hold a 21-0 lead over the Solon Comets. Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, and of course happy to have Brandon Soder back with us this week. And again, this one's been really one where the first half was interesting. First quarter, 2 drives, clock was killed quickly. Again, Brunswick probably should have scored 0-0 up on the scoreboard, though. And then the second half, when it looked like, maybe might be 7-0 when they go into the locker room. No, Brunswick at the end of the half, they pour it on. And I'll tell you what, we were fired up at halftime as well. Shout out to the guy who makes the PA calls for the Solon band as well. That guy got us fired up in here. So we're ready to go here for the second half, Dom.
Oh, he was yelling. The band was yelling. Brandon was yelling. We were going nuts here in the press box. I'll tell you what, that was the most electrifying band performance I have ever seen. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, their band went from end zone to end zone. They shook the press box because of how loud they were. Not loud in the bad way. Loud because there were just so many of them. It was great. I'm excited for this second half. That band performance definitely got me pumped up and ready to go for some more Brunswick and Solon football.
Well, if the football team can have the performance here in the second half that the band just had, they might have a shot to get back in this thing.
They might win the Super Bowl.
That is definitely possible. But that being said, they're going to have to kick this one away to Brunswick. And obviously, Brunswick's been getting some things going offensively, Brandon. How does Solon come out here and stop the Rock? Because he started to get things clicking.
That's the thing. I mean, there's no obvious answer yet because, again, he's been able to sling the ball around a lot. The one piece of success you've had if you're Solon is stopping the running game, specifically when it comes to the backs. So now just kind of being able to readjust, take a deep breath. You're down 3 scores. You're still not out of this. Again, you've got 1 win. Brunswick's got 1 win. You can still come out of this on top. You got to get a good stop here. Even if it's not a 3-and-out, just don't put any points up off the board. And then get that offense out there. The offense is going to be the key. Stop leaving your defense out to dry and just sustain a couple of drives. Give yourself a shot to climb back into this one.
3 back deep to return, and this one fielded at about the 17 for Neal, making a couple people miss. Looked like he might get bottled up around the 30-yard line, but somehow stayed in bounds and got past a couple white jerseys, and then is brought down at the 37-yard line, and that is where the 1st and 10 and the opening play of the second half coming underway for the Blue Devils offense.
You know, with how Neal is playing, we no longer need yards after contact. We need yards after contact, after contact, after contact. He should have gone down 3 separate times on that play and just continued to fight for yardage. He's been an electrifying player to watch. I mean, still a lot of time left to go in this, but we talk about the Hinckley Roofing player of the game. He's certainly someone we're watching right now, and he's still got another half to put up numbers.
Kavulik to the left of Rock Sandich. He's got a lot of touches in that first half. And he's going to get another touch here, try to turn up field. Kept those legs really moving. That was a powerful run after that first contact at about the 40-yard line and fell forward for a gain of another 3. So 5-yard carry there for Kavulik.
You know, we've talked about the all-grit team last week, and you know, that's going to be coming out in 2 weeks. There are some players that put themselves on the list. Neal has reminded us that he can be a guy. Rock Sandich said, hey, don't forget about me. You know, you fell in love with Normandy's quarterback, but what about me? And there's a few other guys next to O'Malley that will be in that conversation.
Absolutely. O'Malley was really that standout guy for the first 2 times we watched this team and said he's got to be in that contention for what you are making in that all-grit team. There are about 3 more guys I can definitely say, Kavulik, Rock Sandich, Neal, who want to put themselves in that conversation as well. Make sure you guys check that out on KeonSports.com, YouTube as well. If you do believe, might have a possibility of putting some of those things out there on the YouTube channel as well. But again, a great idea by Dom, and we look forward to that announcement. Really putting a compilation of all the players that showed some grit, a ton of it, throughout the Keon Sports High School football games of the weeks through 10 weeks. 3rd and 5 now upcoming from the 42-yard line. 2 receivers to the far side of the field. Rock Sandich stepping up in the pocket. A lot of pressure. Throws a guy off of him. Tried to throw big number 75 off of him. And Rock Sandich, you bit off a little bit more than you can chew with the big boy, Jalen Morgan, weighing in at 305 pounds. And Rock Sandich nearly shedded that tackle.
He almost tossed him, but that is, I mean, that is a I don't know how to compare it. That is like a Chevy, like a large Chevy truck trying to run over the Great Wall of China. It's just like two large things, it's just not going to work.
Deep punt away, as I have to love that comparison there from Dom Clary. Good return out past the 35-yard line. So after getting a stop, 3 and out there, now you're going to see Solon bring the offense out on the field. They weren't able to get things really rolling aside from really the very first part of the opening drive of the half. If they can hit a stride, again, that's what they're going to need here because you have to score sooner rather than later to give yourself a chance down 3 scores.
What are you going to do differently? What are you bringing on the table that you didn't bring last time? You know, it's like your aunt brings the same cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving every year. Bring something different, right? What can Solon bring to the table they did not bring in that first half? I don't know where I came with that example, but here we are.
Well, Thanksgiving right around the corner. Dom's already ready for some Thanksgiving food, I guess. Here's the throw to the near side of the field. Tackle inbounds. That's your boy, Keegan O'Malley, making the tackle there. Linebacker, he's been in the backfield applying the pressure, and that time here on the near sideline, going from sideline, making that tackle. Gain of 2 on the reception. Want to remind everybody that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. Back to pass, throw into the flat. Sanders brought down after a gain of about 2 on that catch.
So, you know, O'Malley made that tackle on that first play. What's so interesting about him is that he's one of those linebackers where he can work inside out when it goes to where he plays, but he can also drop in coverage. Like setting him on that outside, he can blitz from depth. He can also cover as well. He might not be the guy that's going to lock somebody down, but he is going to be breathing on the back of the neck of a wide receiver there on an out route or a skinny post or whatever it may be. He'll make sure that wherever you catch is exactly where you're going down. I mean, he can be that good in coverage if you need him to be.
Breeze has picked up here in this one tonight. Trying to keep this one getting around the edge is Cormuth. He's not going to have enough room. It looks like maybe actually, yes, he tiptoed enough to move the chains. Thought he stepped out maybe about half a yard short. It was going to set up 4th and short instead. No, spot out right at that 45, and they moved the chains for the 1st and 10. So that really helps out Solon.
Sorry, go ahead, Cole.
You're good. 4 receivers out there on the field. Here's the snap. Cormuth back to pass. Wants one down the field. Defensive back has much better position and intercepts that pass. Hauling it in, Diego Castillo. Opportunity maybe to cut back and switch the field. Instead trying to make a couple men miss. And he's brought down right about the 44.
Good news is your aunt brought a new dish to Thanksgiving. Bad news is she burnt the crap out of it. That did not work. If you're Solon, you were moving the ball. Again, I don't think you had to reinvent the wheel. I don't think you had to take a deep shot yet. You just had to limit your mistakes, and they were doing that so far. They picked up the first down. They were starting to march. They tried to get a big play in there, and immediately giving the ball back to the Blue Devils, the last thing you wanted to do if you were the Comets.
You know, it was the cranberry sauce, but there were almonds in it for some reason. That's really all it is. Like, why is that in there, Aunt Sally? I don't know what you're doing. You know, it's a interception just like the first half, but you know, while you moved the chains once. I don't know.
You're on the handoff. It's going to be Neal getting the ball, turning on the Jets. He's going to push out of bounds. Really nice carry there for Neal, and that one carry there moves the chains again, and now the Blue Devils are in to Blue Devils territory. And I have to say, I'm still laughing about what you guys just said about, you know, the dish, sauce. And then you're talking about the almonds there in the cranberry sauce. All I could think is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You know, does your cat eat Jell-O? Oh, man, you guys are too much with that. 1st and 10 here from the 44. The pitch, trying to find some room, and looks like there's going to be a hold there, even though that was a really nice carry. The penalty markers flying in right around that logo on the edge of it, and this one's going to back up for the Blue Devils.
You know, we saw Blue Devils play a relatively clean game in the first half. Not a lot of penalties, kept the offense humming. Again, I'm not ready to say a big cause for concern yet, but you did have a 3 and out to start the half. Now you've got a 1st and very long. Don't give Solon any kind of a chance to get back into this one. I mean, we saw The offense still turned it over, but they were moving the ball better than they were in the first half. So point being, you are up 3 scores, but still, put this one away. Don't give the Comets any life.
Little wing T here on 1st and 20 from the 46. They're going to pitch it again to Neal. Neal looking for some room, turn on the Jets. Going to get a ton of yards back, not quite back to the original line of scrimmage, but a gain of 9.
You know, I'm curious about that wing T. I wonder if that's a glimpse of the future. You know, because they do have the athletes to move in space, but I feel like they would prefer if they use them in a wing T situation. Again, it allows you to utilize your speed, but just a little bit differently, a little bit quicker. You're more upfield, faster. It's hard for the defensive line to really make an impact that way.
Here's a short throw. Some room to run. Gets the block out ahead, and then really taking a defender out of bounds. Going to be plenty for the first down there past the 30-yard line to the 27. That's really another nice play by John Crawford. And credit to the blockers out ahead of him.
Yeah, the blocking's really good on the screenplays. Credit to them. I mean, screenplay blocking, it is not easy. You know, you split your line of scrimmage in practice, or you split your offensive line in practice, work on your front side movement. It's really all you can do to get it down. It's hard really to simulate a screen, but I'll tell you what, they do a really good job at it.
6.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter from the wing T again. Neal's going to get the football, and he keeps the legs moving. He's not a big guy, but he has been hard to tackle here tonight.
Yeah, we saw that against Cleveland Heights, too, where he kind of jumped on the scene for us as a guy that just a rough and tumble wide receiver. You don't see too many wide receivers like that. They're able to get the ball in the backfield and be undersized in every single matchup with the defender and still be able to fall forward or run a guy over for a few yards. It's not even running a guy over. It's like he just bounces off of people and just keeps on churning his legs.
So 1st and 10, still in the wing T. They're going to pitch this one. Kavulik bouncing around the edge, and he's chopped down at the 15-yard line. Tell you what, not many teams do you see go from the wing T to shotgun, back to the wing T, back to shotgun. Again, Olmsted Falls known for the wing T, but they typically stay in it the entire game.
They don't leave it. My junior year, we did that. We were a single back to spread offense from time to time, and we brought out the wing T in a championship game. And I'll tell you what, we lost 5 yards in each play because we had no idea what we were doing. It's a hard offense to learn if you've never ran it before.
Tell you what, Brunswick appears like they know what they're doing, though. Almost every single play out of this wing T has been for a big gain. Short one, though, on that one, and 3rd down upcoming. Reminder that this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
Again, big stop here if you're Solon. You know, we've seen Brunswick has made the 3 PATs. You did force them to miss a field goal earlier in the game. So if you can stop them here, still a chance that Brunswick doesn't walk away and make this a 4-possession game. But again, time to bear down if you're Solon.
So back in the shotgun again. 4 receivers out wide. Roxandich has a little bit of time, now pressured. He's running to his left, heaves this one towards the end zone. Jump ball in the back of the end zone, that falls incomplete. But a penalty marker was thrown at the 21, and appears like this is going to be a hold against the Blue Devils. No, actually, no, they're pointing the other direction.
And I did want to quickly correct myself. It would still be a 3-possession game, potentially, because it'd be 24 if the Blue Devils were to score a field goal here. But, yeah, it looks like a little bit of
there you
confusion,
go.
but they are going to send it on Brunswick.
Interesting. So it appeared like it was in the direction of a hold. Thought it was a hold there as defender tried to break free getting off of Roxandich and just holding onto that block a little bit too long. Interesting, though, the official who threw the penalty flag kind of pointed the other direction for a second.
He's actually done that all game.
Interesting.
So, well, not all game. He's done this whole half. He went to go point a first down, and he pointed the wrong way a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, so I saw that.
He got me fooled up here.
He fooled me a few times. I'm like, oh, he's short. I'm like, oh, no, that's a first down. He's just not pointing in the right direction. It happens. Happens to the best of us.
So 3rd and 19 now from the 25-yard line. So a long way to go to get that first down. And a little bit of trickery here. Throwing it back to Roxandich. Climbs the ladder on the completion. Slips past the tackler to the 20-yard line and down at the 18. So not a huge gain, just 7 yards there, but like the creativity.
Yeah, I like a play like that. I wish he would have stayed on the outside there, but hey, I'll take it. That was a fun little play they ran there.
It was, and I think maybe if that pass again, was more right into the hands of Roxanich, and he didn't have to jump up and catch it. That took away some of the momentum as well. Maybe could have gotten more yardage. That being said, though, 4th and 12 from the 18-yard line. They still look like they're going to go for it here. Receiver in motion. Roxanich back to pass, looking to the far side, floating this one up towards the back corner. Jump ball in the end zone. It's tipped and brought down by the receiver in the corner of the end zone. Again, with those black jerseys, the blue numbers are a little bit hard to see, but I believe that's Hayden Swarm who climbed the ladder there on the far side. Looked to be almost an interception there, but no. Touchdown, Brunswick.
I mean, that's as good as it gets. That's almost like how we saw the Hail Mary against it was Houston in West Virginia, I believe yesterday, where the ball was tipped and the guy just fell right into his hands. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a redirect drill to teach you how the ball may go. If it hits off a hand and boom, touchdown, everything is going in favor of the Blue Devils. I mean, they haven't had a game like this in a while. It is nice to see that all things are going in a way of the black and blue really for the first time since we've really been covering them since the first year I've been with you, Cole. So it's been 2 years since we've seen them really perform like this.
Well, we see the reason why, again, the Blue Devils go for it on 4th down. Some of those PATs have been rather short, and that one there floated up in the air and actually fell short of the goalpost. So after not making the PAT, it's 27-0. And so 4-score lead for the Blue Devils, showing some dominance here against Solon.
Yeah, and credit to them going for it on 4th. I get that the kicker factors into that, but still staying aggressive, keeping the foot on the gas. You've been ahead in some games this year, and you've watched it slip away a couple of times. This coaching staff knows no such thing as a safe lead. So to continue building on that, absolutely huge for Brunswick. And as you said, firing on all cylinders right now, especially here on offense.
So kickoff upcoming. A couple back deep to return for Solon. This one's going to be squibbed, but a flag here on the near side. And it's going to be offsides there against the kicking team.
That's it's Ethan Roxanich. That's his 4th touchdown on the day, gentlemen. He has been lights out throwing the ball. It is nice to see that this young man has arrived as a pass thrower here today. I'm interested. I'm going to be following their game next week, seeing if they can continue, or if he can continue, pardon me, to be a great pass thrower that we've seen today here against Solon.
Back to kick. Low one that's driven through the hands of the returner there. Makes its way all the way back to Springer. And he's brought down at the 25-yard line. So here come the Comets again. Didn't get much going offensively the last time. They did get a first down. That's good news for them. They haven't had a whole lot in this game. But again, still things stalled out for them. Throwing that interception down the field. Can you actually put a nice sustained drive together is the question. And that week off certainly seems to be there. Some rust, but it's also just been a tough year for the Comets.
And like Dom said, obviously, when you get to the higher levels, having that bye week can help. But especially when you're a team like Solon that only had one win, it was a winnable game going up against Euclid. Having that win under the belt, I feel like would have been much more beneficial than having that week off.
Sanders on the handoff past the 30-yard line, brought down at the 32, so a decent carry there of 7. Sets up now a 2nd and 3 now.
And again, I think if you're Solon, you do this, you run your offense until Brunswick shows they can stop it. They haven't really been able to do it so far the second half. And even though it's going to take you a while to march down the field and it might not be enough to climb back into a 4-score game, at least establish your offense, get something comfortable going, and then start being more risky, then start taking shots. But you got to get these guys into some kind of a rhythm. They just haven't been able to do it here so far.
3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Short throw out to the far side and out of bounds after picking up the first down is number 30, Ali.
They kind of gave up running with them, huh? I feel like we haven't talked about them here in a long while. They've really just been throwing the ball play after play.
Makai Ali gets the carry. Dom called for it. Again, Ali was out there really as that starting running back for the very first couple plays of the game. Seems like most of the carries have gone the way of Jack Sanders here since that point. But Ali now getting back involved after the catch, and then the run for 2 yards, 2nd and 8. Cormuth, short throw here to the near side, caught at the 45-yard line, and brought down is Josh Grafton.
And what's frustrating if you're Solon, this isn't one of those games where it feels like a blowout because your offense just hasn't been able to do anything. Like, Luke Korma has thrown the ball pretty well. He's very technical. He's very sound in his throwing motion. He's completed a lot of these short passes. It's just, again, offensive mistakes, penalties, turnovers have just marred this team. So as the team, as the coaching staff, you feel like you have the players to be able to hang with Brunswick. It's just nothing has really gone your direction so far.
Cormuth looking to run. Little stutter step and slips out of bounds past the 50-yard line. Again, that little stutter step in space, we've seen it a few times from him where he fakes going left, goes to his right, and that time, defender not really on his toes. And that's enough for the first down, and back into Blue Devils territory. 3 receivers to the far side of the field, running back to the left of Cormuth, and misses a man over the middle. Actually had a guy who seemed to be wide open down the field if he was looking to Barman a little bit farther on almost like a deep slant, it appeared like. But that time they're trying to go over the middle, just missed to the left of McQuaid, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he kind of got scared there. They brought, I think, 6, 7 people. So I, too, would be scared if 7, 8 people were running at me full speed. All different positions and body types with only 5 people blocking.
McQuaid in motion. Cormuth has to catch that one, snagged it one-handed, now on the run, and he's been scrambling a lot here as of late because when he stayed in the pocket, he's been pressured, and now maybe just a little bit quick to get out of the pocket, but he's getting some positive yards with his legs. Nothing major, but enough to get little chunks here and there. So now 3rd and 5 upcoming.
One thing to look out for, though, when Korma does run, he's a little bit wild with how he's holding that ball. He's putting it out. He's leaving it out in open space. Some teams you can get away with that. Brunswick, with how disciplined they play, they're going to be looking to punch that out.
Yeah, he's doing that pump fake thing. Again, I know I'm bringing him up again, but Ben Roethlisberger did that with the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers with the Packers. Not so much with the Jets yet, but that pump fake to draw the cornerbacks away from himself, thinking that he's going to pass it, but in reality, he's taking it the whole way.
Surprising he hasn't had a lot of pump fakes in his 45 seconds with the Jets so far this year, but that's a good observation there, Dom.
Thank you.
4th and 5 now following the incompletion. Again, that was a little far left of the receiver. Tried to dive layout for it. Good effort there. But now, really in no man's land, and you have to go for it if you want to have a chance to keep this drive going. And he's trying to slip out of sack. There's that ball stripped out. It's on the floor, and only black jerseys around that football. And there you have it. Brandon just called it. Loose with the football, and that there was Cormuth nearly got sacked. He was stumbling, tried to stay on his feet, and a little careless with that ball as he was trying to gain his balance. Was holding it down, and it got swatted out of his hands, and there you have it. Another turnover, and good field position again for the Blue Devils with 1.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd.
He initially got scared when a hand of a defensive tackle swatted him out of the air and brought him in. He was able to break away, but that ball was all loosey-goosey, did not have control of it, and I mean, fumbled it as you saw. He's scrambling for life here. He's trying to get anything he can, but right now this Brunswick defense is just next level.
Yeah, I have to say that earlier in the season when Brunswick didn't have a win is when we got to call some games for them. And we said they were the best no-win team probably in the state of Ohio. I'm going to say that they may be the best 1-win team here in the state. I mean, that defense is really good, and they have good things on offense.
It doesn't get better than that with 1 win.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Absolutely not. Here in that wing tee again, Neal on the pitch. Really nowhere to go, but he spins there. Even though there's not a huge gain out of that, the plays this kid makes, right? The vision that he has on the field, that's probably a 2-yard loss for most people, but he's quick, he's shifty, and that spin got him back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we've talked about it plenty. He should have gone down several times, and he's doing it in multiple ways. He's not the biggest guy, but he's still able to shed contact and go forward there. And in that case, it was just a spin move to buy himself just enough space to get back up to the line of scrimmage. He's not a guy that's going to go, east and west too often. He's not going to lose you yardage, and when he finds an opportunity to get the yardage, he's going to get there.
Roxandich hands it off to Neal in the backfield. Tripped up after a gain of a few.
That run there, it was blocked pretty good. That front side combo between the guard and the center just wasn't enough to, really get that second level. They were able to get that initial push, gain a yard or two. It says 3rd and 8, but the chains shows that it is definitely 3rd and 10.
Less than half a second between the game clock and play clock, mind you. So it looks like one play going to have to get one in here before the end of the quarter. So out of the shotgun, receiver in motion on 3rd and 8. Here's the snap. Roxandich looking to throw back, and he floats that one high. It's picked off and brought down just around the 30-yard line is Michael Pierce. He's probably been the star on defense for Solon, and he makes a play there. So 27-0 into the 3rd quarter here from Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium. We'll be back for the start of the 4th quarter.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Pulp North Olmsted. From wraps to bowls to smoothies and everything in between, this is the perfect healthy option for the person on the go. Stop in and taste for yourself at 27650 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted. Riley's Irish Bakery, the absolute best bakery and comfort food selection you will find on the west side of town. Located in the heart of Fairview, this incredible family-run business is your first, last, and only stop for the best eats. At Riley's Irish Bakery, they use the freshest ingredients to create classic Irish baked goods and savories. They are located at 22570 Lorraine Road in Fairview.
Back for the start of the 4th quarter in the Keon Sports High School football game of the week of Week 9, where the Blue Devils hold a 27-0 lead over the Solon Comets. And the Comets offense has the best field position that they've had yet this game, thanks to a Michael Pierce interception. Ball on the 32-yard line, 1st and 10. Can the Comets get something going? A mountain to climb here in the 4th, but a touchdown here could really help them out. Pressure in the face of Cormuth, and he's going to be sacked immediately. And despite the great field position, they begin going backwards once again.
Yeah, not so much a mountain, but it feels more like a wall at this point, right? The Silverado's just not big enough. They can't get it quite over top there. They've got good field position, like you said, the best they've had all night. Good defensive stand there. One of the few mistakes we've seen Roxandich and the Blue Devils make, but now you got to capitalize on it. Not the best start. Like we said, they continue to put themselves backwards to start these drives. You've got the offense to move the ball methodically, but you don't have the ball or have the offense to pick up 15-yard chunks at a time. You got to find a way to correct that.
Loss of 5 on the sack. Now Cormuth back to pass. He finds a man at the 30-yard line who's gang tackled there past the original line of scrimmage. But that's a nice little chunk there to at least get them some yards back. Brian McQuaid, the guy credited with the catch there. 3rd and 8. 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Cormuth back to pass again. Pressure in his face, scrambling, rolling to his right, and that time a strike to his receiver, and McQuaid had pushed out of bounds. That's a good throw.
No, it is, and we've seen this passing offense come alive in spurts. When you give them the opportunity to kind of, build up, get the flow going, they're not bad. They haven't been playing particularly poorly. Again, it's just big penalties, big turnovers have marred them.
Comets picking up the pace a little bit here, and Ali gets the carry. Now into the red zone, and a reminder that this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more. Substitution for Brunswick, and they didn't get back on side, so I do believe that the Blue Devils had to time out, and they just got it in time.
Yeah, Brandon, to touch on your point, the reason why those are open but they're not able to get much more, they have no big play potential. when you build an offense, you want it to be methodical, right? But you want to be able to have a 1 or 2 big plays so you're able to hit a drive. We mean big plays, 20 yards, 30 yards. Doesn't necessarily mean a 70-yard touchdown, but 20 yards, 15 yards at a time can really help an offense. When you don't have that threat, when I as a defense can have my safeties play on their toes, you're not going to be able to do much after the catch. It's just there's no threat. Your running back's not going to have any room because the passing game's not opening things up, and that's not anything against this passing game. The passing game hasn't been bad when it comes to short plays, and Cormuth has played well. It's just there's no big play threat. He's tried to find a deep throw, but anytime his wide receivers are out physical, and they get pushed away from the ball, interception, or just simply there's a drape over him.
Well, the offense going to have to come up big here now. 2nd and 5 from the 10-yard line. Knocking on the door really for the first time tonight. Short throw, and Ali quickly brought down. Getting one of those fast linebackers immediately there to meet the receiver. So moving quickly. No gain on that play. 3rd and 5. Really out of a pistol set. Cormuth, short throw. That one's caught, stretching towards that first down marker is Harley Barman. I think he's going to be just a little bit short. About 4th and inches here right now. And they're moving quick once again. Not going under center, still out of the gun. Can the Blue Devils hold strong?
And they kind of caught the Blue Devils off guard there. The defense didn't look like it was completely set when they got that snap off. But this time, again, calling in a new play gives Brunswick time to settle down. Big 4th down play for Solon.
Cormuth running to his left, throws this one to the end zone. Interesting call on 4th and really short. It was like a 50-50 ball thrown into the end zone, and a turnover on downs now.
You had to try something, I guess. But again, it goes back to what Don was saying. The big play potential wasn't there. That wasn't even a huge play, but you've yet to show that you can stretch anything beyond 5-10 yards. They tried just punching it in there, getting a little bit of momentum back. It didn't work. It's not there. The offense can operate, as it's kind of designed, but like you said, there's no real threat of doing anything crazy. And Brunswick was really able to key in on that, stop him in the red zone, and, pretty much the final nail in the coffin here.
To be honest, easier said than done. I would try to worry about getting that first down and then worry about going to the end zone once you have a first down there. Maybe run it with Cormuth because he's been able to get a couple yards here and there when he's been running, but doesn't happen. And now the Blue Devils find their offense back on the field with 9.5 minutes left in this game, leading by 4 scores, 27-0. Want to remind everybody, not only that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. But also, the post-game show, don't go anywhere at the end of this game. That is also brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Here's a handoff. And even though Nichols gets some room on that carry, this one's going to be moving back, I believe. Going to be holding against the Blue Devils.
And I'm curious as to what the penalty was before the drive even started. The ball wasn't snapped. Nothing had happened. They threw the flag. That pushed Brunswick back pretty much up against their own red zone. Now you got another penalty stacking on top of it. But, again, just curious as to what they possibly could have called before the offense really had a chance to get set.
And also a change at quarterback, it appears, as well, as we're getting to see number 16, Sean Barnett, out there.
And he's had a heck of a game at wide receiver. Let's see if he can add anything else to that already really good stat line.
2 receivers to the far side of the field, backed up at the 4-yard line. Here's a handoff to Nichols. Nichols bouncing to the near side, gets some help from his receiver there, and just slips as he's trying to round that corner past the 15-yard line, but that's enough to move the chains.
Yeah, he simply just fell. When you have turf that has a lot of rubber pellets, which I believe this turf does, there's nothing for your cleat to grab onto. You are simply just running on a flat surface at times, but it's slippery. It is hard to get any traction on turf unless you have cleats that are made for it, and football players typically don't have those.
So Neal in motion. Hand off to Nichols once again. Nichols following some blockers around the edge, and he's really tripped up out of bounds just past the 20-yard line at the 23. So another nice carry for Nichols.
And the fun thing with Nichols, again, not the most dominant runner in the world, but it feels like no one's really gotten a clean tackle on him all game. It's either like an awkward takedown at the last second, shoving him out of bounds. It's tough to get him wrapped up and get him down.
And he got a lot of carries in that game against Cleveland Heights. We really didn't see him against Medina, and didn't really see him for most of this game until the latter stages here. And what's really garbage time here right now, because Brunswick's going to go on to win this game, but a couple impressive carries. He's got a bright future. That time, not much room to run, meets a wall of white jerseys, but Nichols, of his couple carries he's had so far, really a couple of them, 2 or 3, have been solid.
Yeah, no, he does a good job taking advantage of the reps that he has in game. Can't speak for in practice, but you know he's a talented player. What year is he? I'm interested to see.
Yeah, Nichols, number 23. He
He's
is a sophomore, so
yeah,
he has 2 more years.
Yeah, and you have a running back duo. It's a junior and a sophomore. This is such a young team. It is such a young team. It's almost in the position that North Ridgeville was in last year.
Correct. Yeah, North Ridgeville was young last year, still somewhat young. A lot of juniors now on that team after having a lot of sophomores last season, and you saw obviously the improvements that they had. Carry there and moves the first down chains once again. Under 7 minutes left to go in this one.
I'm interested why they decided to take everyone out without the running clock. It's an interesting move. Usually you don't see your players taken out with the running clock. Again, this game's pretty much sealed up, but it is indeed an interesting move to do that here in the fourth quarter. But I think they're saving their players up for that last game, I believe, against Strongsville.
Yeah, it is. At home against Strongsville coming up. Here's the jet sweep to Neal. Neal has room to run, pushed really forward there past the 40-yard line, and he falls at the 42, so another nice gain for Neal of 7.
I'll tell you what, Neal has really made his case for the all-grit team.
Yeah.
And, for those that don't know what it is, it's a collection of players, essentially like an all-star team almost that we're creating of players that just all grit, people you want in the foxhole, metaphorical foxhole with you there on the football field. Tough players, those that grind it out. They want that one extra play.
Well, here comes Neal in motion again. This time the handoff to Nichols. Nichols cutting back, bouncing around the edge, stays on his feet and out of bounds and tackled late there right around the 40-yard line. Again, that's another one where the officials, I think they were trying to get the spot and maybe missed how late that tackle was. It happened well after Nichols was already out of bounds.
I'll tell you what, those late tackles, especially in a game like this where you go against a team that thought that they could go shot for shot with you, and it simply just hasn't been the case here. Those late hits, man. I remember against my rival my junior year, we blew them out in our district championship game. The same one where that screenplay kept surprising me. Our running back got thrown into the bench. It's just blowouts will happen. If you're a defender, just be careful. Don't throw someone out of bounds too far, too late.
Handoff to Nichols once again. Nichols kind of pulled up on that run, getting slowed down, and had some room in front of him. I think if he hit that hole a little bit faster, he could have maybe broke that off for even more yards. Seems like it's not an injury or any issue there. It seems to be okay. Just decided to take his time there on that run, but first down, move the chains.
We'll see. They're taking him out there. I think they're going to actually I think he's tired.
Maybe.
He's been the workhorse. But I think it was also that he was waiting for a gap to open up. And you know what? Maybe he's not full fit. Maybe he's coming off of an injury that we don't know about. Again, we only see some of these teams once, twice, 3 times a season, so it's hard to tell.
Here's a handoff. Not much room to run. Brought down right back at the line of scrimmage there.
And, we talk about covering a team once or twice, 3 times a season. I mean, this is the second year in a row we've covered Brunswick 3 times.
Yeah, it is.
And making stops here twice. This has been a home for us covering, and we have a lot of really good memories. This is the one place where I feel like we always talk at the end of the year when we're with all 3 of us are with Vince as well, and we tell him all these stories he doesn't know about. It's Brunswick's a good time. It's a good atmosphere. anytime we have a problem here, it is everyone helps us to figure it out. It's really a great place to cover a game, and it's always a good atmosphere here in Brunswick.
Absolutely. Shout out to Brunswick for, again, allowing us to call games here. We always enjoy it. Of course, a lot of great sites, a lot of great schools that we like to go to, and this is definitely one of those in those ranks as well. 4 minutes left after that carry. Gain of 2 there. 3rd and 8.
I want to give both these sides just really quickly some credit. We've seen some of the late hits. I don't think they've been particularly, spiteful or purposeful.
Right, yeah.
A couple times, though, I've seen it to where things can get chippy. Plays are extending. Like, guys are still locked up after a play. But every time, the guys have been patting each other on the back, continuing with the game. Haven't seen anything blow up. So, again, credit to Solon, but also Brunswick as well for keeping cool.
Trying to get around the edge and doing a really nice job staying on his feet. Breaks through a tackle there, somehow into the end zone. Number 21, Cohen Issa.
Wow.
Looked like he was going to be brought down there on that jet sweep.
Now, we've been talking about second, third efforts all night. We haven't had his number called really at all this evening, and just able to fight through that little bit of a cluster, break through for another touchdown for Brunswick. And, man, you've got the second teamers out here driving down the field. Got a lot to look forward to next year if you're the Blue Devils.
Yeah, that second team actually moved the ball very, very well, running it on the ground there. And the impressiveness of Issa staying on his feet when it looked like he was going to be brought down, really got spun, somehow broke through a couple tackles into the end zone, making it 33-0. Opportunity to add the PAT. Last one was missed. This one up and good. And it's now 34-0, 2.5 minutes remaining.
And the only negative of Brunswick not going for 2 there, which I understand why they kicked the PAT, because, they haven't quite been automatic kicking the ball. 1 point short of the running clock.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
2:37 with how these teams have played. We still might be out of here in the next 3 minutes, but, got that close. Overall still, running clock or not, just a dominant performance by Brunswick on both sides of the ball from wire to wire. They never let up. Again, even the backups getting in there, they're hungry, they're ready to play. They know what kind of potential this team has. It's just fun to watch, guys. And like you said, we've been to Brunswick a lot. They always take care of us. We always come back to the stadium. It's rare that we get to see a win, and even more that we get to see a good, just dominant win from the Blue Devils. So very happy for them. Credit to Solon. They've definitely still got some pieces that can put things together. They've got an offense that can click, but tonight has been all about the Blue Devils.
Blue Devils have bounced back after that 41-0 loss at Mentor, and they said after getting shut out, we're going to see if we can shut somebody out ourselves, and looking to do it here in the very following week against the Comets. But still 2 minutes left. Can the Comets get down the field, make sure they don't get blanked in this one before they go home?
They definitely can, but again, you got to wonder if 2 minutes is even enough time. The only times we've really seen Solon have success is when they're being slow, methodical, and it works. It has been working, but again, you're really up against it now. You got to be able to pull off a big pass or two, a breakaway run, something to really be able to get points up on the board, because otherwise, not nearly enough time left, obviously, to come back, but it may even be a struggle to score here.
So offense back out onto the field. Late substitution here right now. Clock continuing to tick down. Late substitution coming from the Brunswick sideline. Here's the keeper, Cormuth. Saw a little bit of space and then was quickly brought down at the 40-yard line. So a short gain on that run. And it seems like the Comets are content to drain some clock themselves. Probably ready to get out of here tonight, but still, again, we'll see if they can piece something together offensively on this drive despite taking some time. 2nd and 7 upcoming. 1.5 minutes left remaining in this game. 3 receivers to the near side, back in the gun. Cormuth looking the other side, going deep. Puts that one up there in position for his receiver to catch it, and he does. Inside the 25. Catch there by Josh Grafton, and now this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
And they're letting this clock run. They're letting it go. They're not stopping it for the first down. But again, credit to Solon. First time tonight, we've really seen an explosive play out of him. Excellent pass there from Cormuth.
From the 23, 1st and 10, under a minute left. Cormuth, little pressure from behind. Running back picks up the block. Receiver in the end zone. Didn't have the position there on the defensive back and stumbles looking up for that football. Falls incomplete, so the clock is continuing to run again right now, even after the incompletion. So 2nd and 10. Cormuth, the keeper, and takes a hard hit there as he gets past the 20-yard line. Maybe an opportunity for Solon to run one more play here on 3rd down.
Yeah, I think they're just going to let this puppy run out here. It's an impressive win here by Brunswick. I think at the end of the day, healthier players matters. No need to run another play. Take it in to the line and to the buses and regroup for one last week.
So there you have it, a shutout for Brunswick. Again, just had homecoming festivities to start this night. And now they get a win, a big one over the Solon Comets, 34-0. And the Blue Devils pick up their 2nd win on the season. They're 2-7 overall, 2-4 in the GCC. Solon, they dropped to 1-7, 0-5 in conference play. And props to Brunswick on the win. Congrats to them. And again, safe travels for Solon. We want to wish them the best. But there you have it. After this one ends here in Week 9, we're down to Week 10. Last week of the regular season upcoming. Of course, you're going to hear in the Hinckley Roofing post-game show where we're going to be next week for that final regular season game. And can't believe, again, the broadcast season for us is going to wrap up. But there's going to be a lot of coverage, of course, for Keon Sports throughout the postseason as well. But, Dom, any last thoughts on this one?
No, I mean, this was a fun one for us. Seeing Brunswick been able to succeed, seeing Solon for the first time, really, for me. I don't know if you guys covered them before in the short history here that we've done these broadcasts here at Keon Sports. But, as always, it's a pleasure to cover a game here. Roxanne, it was phenomenal. I mean, one of the best games. I mean, the best game we've seen from him. Wide receivers were phenomenal. Neil, I mean, next week too, but next year, watch out for that young man. A lot of exciting things to look forward to if you are a Blue Devil faithful.
Well, Brandon, obviously happy to have you back here this week. Of course, shout out to Darian Jackson doing a great job of filling in last week as well. But as always, pleasure to have Brandon here on the broadcast and keeping everything run smoothly for us once again. For myself, Cole McDaniel, and Dom Clary, we're going to step aside, sign off here tonight for the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. But don't go anywhere. Brandon's going to be here with the post-game show in just a few moments.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Roasted Coffee Shop. Family owned and operated, a former military man and his paramedic wife followed their dream to open the top coffee shop in Ohio. It is the tastiest coffee in town, and customers keep coming back for more. Visit them today to grab a cup at 27093 Bagley Road in Olmsted Falls. Maria Lano Photography. Maria Lano is a creative photographer that tells your story. She is there to document the love that you have for your family, those moments in time, or milestones that your children will share with their own family someday. Whether that means chasing the golden sunlight on the lake or family cuddles on location, she wants to tell your story. Her goal is for you to look at these photos on your walls and remember how magical you felt in that exact moment in time. You can find out more by emailing her at marialanophotography@gmail.com. Sedmac Insurance, an independent insurance agency who has served Northeast Ohio for over 50 years. Contact Jeff Romancic today at 440-777-7744 to learn more about what they can do for you. Graffiti Warehouse. Visit them at www.graffitiwarehouse.com for the very best in high school sports merchandise. If you're passionate about your favorite team, then stop by the warehouse and pick up the proper swag to support them. Spins Bowl. Spins Bowl has 36 lanes and a large redemption arcade with a full bar and restaurant. It is truly a good time for the whole family as it has something for everyone, young and old. Swing by their website for more info at spinsbowl.com. TNT Construction. They provide residential and commercial remodeling, construction, and building services to clients in Cleveland and all of Northeast Ohio. Look them up today at tntcleveland.com. Village Coffee and Creamery. From the founders of Nancy's Main Street Diner comes Village Coffee and Creamery. They have everything from dessert, lunch items, and coffee to ice cream and every kind of sweet treat you could think of. They are located at 486 Main Street in Grafton. ECI Photography with David Chapinski. ECI is all about sports photography, sports portraits, and senior images. ECI has been around since 2015 and has captured in-game images for parents and athletes, from Pee-wees to high school, universities, Cleveland sports like the Cleveland Charge and Monsters, as well as the pros with the PBA and the Cleveland Guardians. He is always right in the action on the sideline. He offers many options, but the most popular is the 20 in-game images delivered right to your phone within 48 hours after the completion of the game. Sports portrait sessions include fog, lights, and a minimum of 45 minutes in front of the camera. Last but not least, he's been shooting for Keon Sports for the past 3 years. Contact him at eciphoto15@gmail.com, by phone at 440-396-2790, or through his website at www.eciphotography.biz. Scalper's Bar and Grill. Since 1994, Scalper's Bar and Grill has offered guests from all over Northeast Ohio the hottest in entertainment options. Over 20 big screens, great drink prices, and an array of video games, a private basement room, and an extensive menu, Scalper's offers something for everyone. Their legendary menu features award-winning wings, mouth-watering burgers, and fresh, crisp salads. Now patrons can enjoy these great tastes from 11 a.m. till 2 a.m. every day. Stop in at 5718 Mayfield Road in Lyndhurst.
And welcome on into the Hinckley Roofing postgame show, folks. You have been watching the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week for Week 9 as the Solon Comets came into Brunswick to take on the Blue Devils. Folks, if you're just now joining us, as you can see by the score, this game was all Brunswick. Seemed like we were going to have a grinded-out, running type of game. First quarter, not even 2 full drives were completed before the time was taken off the clock. Brunswick was stopped after a long drive, still 0-0 early in the second quarter, but then after that, 34 unanswered for the Blue Devils, and they were getting it done all over the field, running the ball, passing the ball. We'll get into the player of the game here in a moment, but really just absolutely nothing this Comets defense could do to slow down the Blue Devils tonight. Comets themselves, they showed, at times that their offense really could move the ball, but it was tough for them to really sustain any drives. A lot of turnovers on them tonight. A lot of negative plays to start drives, so it was just really tough for them to get anything going. But huge win for Brunswick. Again, really happy to see them. Only one win coming into this game. Solon had one win as well. To see them come out and dominate the way that they did, they have proven once again that they are playing better than their record. So, speaking of which, folks, the Hinckley Roofing player of the game. There were a couple candidates, and we're going to shout both of them out. First off, Cooper Neal. Didn't quite make the cut for our player of the game, but still very much deserving. 58 yards and a receiving touchdown. Was a force in the running game as well. It was just absolutely impossible to take down. Picked up a lot of key first downs for Brunswick and was a key cog in this offense. But it all comes down to the quarterback. And today, Ethan Rock-Sandich having a career game. The best game that we, at least at Keon Sports, have gotten a cover of his. 12 of 18, 198 yards, and 4 touchdowns tonight for Rock-Sandich. Excellent job from him, and very much deserving of the Hinckley Roofing player of the game. Couple notes to keep in mind, folks. Last week is our last week of high school football coverage, at least here on video, rather. The regular season, where you're going to wrap up with the Wadsworth Grizzlies heading into North Royalton to take on the Bears. But we're not done after that, folks. First off, written coverage. Make sure you check out KeonSports.com. We'll continue to have you covered through the regular season, then into the postseason. Again, 20-plus games every time. We're going to have plenty of writers out there for you, plenty of coverage. It is unmatched coverage. You are not going to be able to find as many recaps and scores anywhere else when it comes to Northeast Ohio high school football. Also keep in mind, make sure you follow us on YouTube as soon as your team goes live. Again, we got one more game this year, but next year, make sure you're ready for when we start broadcasting these games again. Get notified every time we go live. Hit that subscribe button right now so you are not left behind. And then, of course, on Twitter, at SportsKey1, we will always tweet out all of our scores, updates, articles. So one easy central place for you to keep track of everything there. Last thing I'll mention, and we will have more updates on this for you soon. If you remember last year, again, we did not take our video coverage into the playoffs, but we did have a podcast series with myself, Cole, Dom, and Vince McKee where we recapped the games, we previewed these high school playoff matchups, had a lot of fun with that, a lot of good engagement, and we're absolutely going to be bringing that back this year. So make sure you stick around, look out for details for that coming up. But all of that said, folks, and again, dominant game from Brunswick tonight. Your final score, Brunswick Blue Devils 34, Solon Comets 0. For Cole McDaniel and Dom Clary, I am Brandon Soder. Everyone enjoy the rest of your night.